Speaking of which, one of those 19 that was on the stage today, presidential candidate, Senator Michael Bennet. Senator, thanks for being with us today. And tell us, as one of the major questions, as you've probably faced on the campaign trail, as well as when you have interviewed with folks like myself, is how are you going to fare against President Trump as you are in the general election? What will be the key to you coming across as the choice, as opposed to, right now, the GOP presidential candidate that is running for president for a second term?
Well, I'm the only candidate in this race who's won 2 national races in a contested purple state. You know, I won Colorado when Donald Trump was winning the country, and I believe that it's not enough just for us to win the presidency. I think we need to win the Senate and hold on to the House. That's going to require us to win states like Colorado and Iowa and Arizona and Maine. I think I can run well in those kinds of states, just as I have in Colorado. And I think winning those states cannot be an afterthought in this presidential process that we're in. We have to be running on an agenda that can unite people in these states in order to beat Donald Trump, or we'll surely lose to Donald Trump. And that's one of the reasons why I'm running in this race.
The news today, or at least within the last bunch of hours, is that you just got an endorsement from a fellow Coloradan, and that is Gary Hart. And we have to go back to the 1980s potentially to remember him. He is a White House hopeful, for those who watch politics. He had quite a run there for a moment. How are you going to emulate his success in the state of Colorado and writ large?
I've known Gary Hart for 25 years and admired him for many, many years. And he's a reminder of how the process actually works. He was where I was. He was at like 1% of the polls. It's where Bill Clinton was. You know, John Kerry wasn't yet 30 points behind up here. I mean, there's long lists of people that have gone on to win the nomination or win the primary here in New Hampshire in the last month. And in fact, that is the way it works. If history is any guide at all, the people that are leading the polls right now are not the people that are going to win Iowa and New Hampshire. I don't know why history wouldn't be our guide. And what I'm going to keep doing is the kind of retail politics that I've been able to do in Colorado to get elected and reelected there twice. Being in people's storefronts, being in their living rooms, meeting with them in their communities. And I think over time, it takes time, but over time you can build a reservoir of support that make us successful. I believe that most voters in Iowa and New Hampshire and in South Carolina haven't made up their minds. This race is wide open, and that presents a real opportunity for voters to consider what kind of candidate they want to have to beat Donald Trump, and I hope to win their trust.
The Economist wrote this headline: Elizabeth Warren's ideas get noticed, Michael Bennett's are better. You come from a great moderate swing state, Colorado. What is it, the stance that you have? And let's go to the one issue I was asking another contender, Andrew Yang, in terms of how to solve gun violence. And that is something that in D.C., in the Beltway, is going to be addressed, you know so well, this coming week.
Yeah, I mean, solving gun, we know what we need to do. But the problem is that nothing ever gets done because McConnell just slow rolls everything, and then he's held accountable for nothing. And today what we've got to do is build on the political force that Moms Against Gun Violence presents, the political force that the Parkland kids present. And in Washington, we need to be strategic in the way we approach this so that if McConnell refuses to put, for example, the background checks on the floor that are in front of us now, that he and the Republicans pay a political price for it if they don't. If they don't pay a political price for it, we're going to keep losing and losing and losing. I believe we should have passed background checks after Newtown, and we didn't do it. And it's shameful. My kids grew up in the shadow of Columbine in Colorado over the last 20 years, and like kids all over America, they know that, you know, they could be shot at school, and they know their government's done nothing to fix it. And I'm sick and tired of losing to Trump and McConnell on all kinds of issues, ranging from guns to climate, to health care. And the only way we're going to turn things around is actually by winning races. And as we did in 2018, we flipped suburban swing district after suburban swing district. That was the key to our success. And I think we can do that again in 2020, but not if we're running on taking insurance away from 190 million Americans. You know, not if we're running on a plan for climate that people doesn't see as a climate plan.
Yeah, Senator, I want to ask you quickly while I've got you, Senator. You're not going to be in the next debate. What's your thought? Are you planning on getting in the fourth debate? And how are you going to do that?
I hope that I'll be in the fourth debate. I'm sorry that I won't be in the third debate. I think the DNC rules are totally arbitrary, and it sounds self-interested of me to say that, but I think objectively that's true. And I don't think the DNC should be winnowing out candidates right now. That's what the process in New Hampshire and in Iowa and in South Carolina is all about. So I'm going to keep fighting. I'm going to keep moving forward. It's obvious to me that the debates actually haven't had an effect on where people are standing in the field. And when you look at just the last national poll, where I was at 1%, there were 3 other candidates at 1% who are on the debate stage who have been going down, not up. And there's another candidate who's at 0 who's on the debate stage. So it doesn't make a lot of sense to me if the question is who's making progress, who's going to be in a position to be able to beat Donald Trump. But, you know, it is what it is. I'm not discouraged by it. I'm not disappointed by it. I'm just going to go out and do the work that I think is going to make a difference in Iowa and New Hampshire and allow me to win in those places.
There are certainly more opportunities when it comes to debates.
Did when he ran.
Yeah. And Senator, there are certainly more opportunities to get on a debate stage. As you know, the DNC chair, though, says this is not about winnowing.
Exactly.
Yeah, Tom Perez is saying this is more about moving forward. His response to that criticism. Senator, thank you so much. Senator Bennet from Colorado, Democratic presidential candidate there in Manchester, New Hampshire,
Thanks for having me.
You betcha.